So if you haven't seen my initial impressions review, check that out, guys. But this should summarize everything you need to know. If you don't fancy checking out the other video, that's totally cool. But if you're new here, welcome, hello. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and you get to see all my other content. And I like to keep it varied. I mix it up with Casio's, AliExpress specials, Homage watches, but I also do Swiss timepieces as well. So there's hopefully enough interesting content to keep you guys happy. Now, I do this because I love it, and it's a way of me getting hold of as many watches as possible and then sharing my findings with you. Now, this watch, I managed to get a 20% discount because I asked very nicely and I said it will be going on YouTube. So first of all, I want to thank Sam Martin from their store on AliExpress. I will create an affiliate link for this exact watch. And if you decide you are happy with what I've said and you do like to buy it, I appreciate you using my link because I get a tiny commission from AliExpress for your purchases, and that's it. It's just a way of helping me keep the watches coming in and going and funding the channel effectively, and that's the only way a lot of watch channels can keep going. So I really appreciate your support if you do decide to go for this or any other watch. If you follow the link, I get money if you buy anything, but nothing too kinky, all right? Or do, I don't care. It's funny. So this review is after me having the watch a bit longer, and I hope you enjoy what I've discovered. And I've also been diving with this watch, so check it out. Or say diving, I've worn a snorkel. So this is the quick run through of the specification of the watch. The materials first, we've got ceramic bezel, 316 steel for the case, the crown, the actual bezel itself. Then we've got ceramic bezel insert. The glass is domed sapphire with a very subtle AR coating. It's double domed. You get a little bit of distortion. Then you've got the dial itself with the applied indices and applied logo, and the text obviously stating it's 200 meters water resist. The movement inside is Seiko NH35A, which is made in Malaysia, and this is proven to be about +6 seconds a day accuracy, which is exceptionally good regarding these movements. And they are very reliable, and they are a 6 ticks per second movement, so it's deemed a 3 Hertz frequency of movement and approximately 40 hours power reserve. The movement has hacking and hand winding. So when you unscrew the screw down crown, you have the hand winding function, which is smooth. It's very easy to operate. It's got a nice feel to it. The first action is for the date complication. You rotate it that way to change the date. Then you've got one more pull, and that is for adjusting the time. I love the hands on this. They are a brushed finish with a polished bevel edge. It's really nice design, and they are absolutely loaded with the BGW9 lume as well. Talking of lume, here's a lume shot. It's very bright, holds its charge really well. It's a proper Swiss grade quality bit of lume. Now here's the first thing I'll need to notice to show you. This stem is a bit too long, I think, on this movement. There's wobble on the crown, but to try and thread it and get it back in place is not good, so I'm not impressed with that. But once it's in, it's fine. The threading on the actual case and the crown itself when it's threaded on is fine. It's just getting it to bite is not great. The thickness of the watch is 13.8. Lug to lug, which is the length of the watch, is about 47. Then you've got the lug width is 22. The lugs are drilled, so you can use a spring bar removal tool. The other end looks like a long pointy part, which you poke in there, and that releases the spring bars, so you can change the straps out. The strap itself is a lovely, very soft rubber, very flexible and soft, excellent in the water. It's really comfortable, lots of flexibility. It feels like a quality rubber product, definitely. The crown is not signed. The back has a little bit of text, combination of polishing and brushing on the underside, stating the model number, 200 meters resist, sapphire, stainless, and the Japan NH35A. I don't think that's correct. It is technically Japanese because Seiko are Japanese, but the movement is not made in Japan. And San Martin, the name. Polished sides and then a circular brushed top. I do like the finishing on this watch. It is very good. It's smooth, the transitions are good, and it's what you would expect at this price point, and if not way more. I've seen finishing the same quality as this on watches worth 3 or 4 times the amount. So that concludes the specification and a bit of a closer look under the studio lights of this lovely looking timepiece. Now, last bits, which I'm just going to be sure to show you whilst I've got it under the light here. If you haven't seen my first impressions video, I highlighted first of all that crown issue, don't like that, and the second is a slight misalignment. See the index at 12 o'clock, the line that splits that index in half is not in line with the arrow of the bezel, triangle, and the line there on the inner chapter ring. It doesn't line up. That's the only issue I've noticed there as well. And there was a speck of dust, which I removed. Bezel action, actually, while we're here, is fantastic. 120 click, really nice, perfect feel, good action, and wasn't affected by the water, by getting salt water in there. Some bezels can get all gumped up. This seems to have been sufficiently lubricated with silicone grease, which is what you need when you build these watches to apply. You can tell when a watch hasn't had it because it just feels awful. This feels really well oiled and engineered. So I've covered the specs of the watch. You've seen the watch close up. Now let's see the watch in action. I've been really enjoying wearing this watch. It's actually very comfortable on hot, sweaty days. We had a bit of a heat wave a few days ago. For England, that's quite impressive. It actually got to mid-30s, a bit cooler by the sea. So it was fun to wear this watch in the sea. I wore this for hours. You can see from the footage, I was swimming around in the sea, snorkeling. Just, it was hot, it was cold. I was rinsing the watch off afterwards, get the salt water off. I was just generally having a lot of rough and tumble and fun with the watch. It's scrape free, it's mark free, it was so comfortable, there was no issues, it was really good. And no leakage, of course. This is 200 meters water resist. These watches haven't been ISO tested or anything because that costs a lot more money. That's for dive watches anyway, but this watch will be totally fine for 99.9% of people that are going to buy and wear this and want to use it for everything. This is a great tool watch. You can use this for everything. And because it's got all the scratch resistant materials, the sapphire, the ceramic, it's really good for practicality as well. And the reliable movement has been keeping really good time, +4 a day. I've been really enjoying it, and its legibility is very good, even though it's got quite a bulbous case shape and case size. It fits really comfortably. It's one of those advantages of this kind of case design. Now, if you have an issue with Homage watches, I don't think you should, because there is 2 different sides to every story. The fact that these watches exist is great, because anyone who cares about watches and wanting to make watches is a positive. Doing knockoffs and rip-offs and really bad fakes, that's very bad. This is that weird middle ground of you're paying homage to a design which isn't patented or copyrighted in many instances. Case shapes, case designs are not patented. You could put all these fantastic pieces together that are appreciated within the watch's design, specification, what consumers want and have enjoyed in the past, and you upgrade and improve things. That's what makes these current wave of homage watches coming from China so successful, because they offer excellent value for money, which is what we all like, especially nowadays. Things aren't always very easy at the moment. To have a hobby which can cost a lot of money, it's fantastic to get a watch for a lot less than its fully branded up equivalent, Seiko King Turtle, for example. They are more than double the price of this watch. But this watch has a better specification. So that is always going to be on your mind, and you're going to feel quite content knowing you've got a really good quality timepiece for significantly less than what you get if you were to buy the fully branded, very, very closely designed original example. So the flaws I found with this watch were, well, when I initially got it, there was a speck of dust on that very glossy dial. That bugs me if there's dust. Don't know why, it's OCD or something, but I actually, because I can take a watch apart, I took it apart and I puffed the dust off. That was it. No damage, it was easy. But if you aren't that way inclined and it bugs you, it's going to be annoying, isn't it? But that's quite rare for a San Martin, to be honest. They don't usually have quality control issues like that. So I was happy. And the other little weird thing is the alignment of the top 3 indices on the top of the watch. There's the 12, the 11 and the 1. They're slightly out of alignment. But we're talking about 0.5 millimeter here. So I'm being ultra critical here, guys, because it's quite surprising to find a watch of this price which has so little flaws. And the last little issue is with the ease of which you could thread the crown. That was a little bit fiddly than it should be. Yeah, it's because of the wobbliness. I think the stem ever so slightly too long, and it means that there's a little bit too much play and give when it comes to winding and threading the crown back in. That's all I can find. The bezel action I've discussed is fantastic. The spec or the materials is fantastic. The movement's reliable, keeping really good time. The lume is amazing. It's nice they've used BGW9, different hue to the usual C3, which is green. It's fantastic to have blue, which is really nice. These are little quirks, and I love the hands. These are really nice, big, bold hands. Initially, I thought they were weird size, but actually they're really, really legible and lovely to read. So now I'm going to conclude, guys, that this watch is really good value for money, like they all are. These Chinese-made watches are fantastic. I like that they're upgrading constantly. Steel Dive, San Martin, Cadison, Pagani. Some are upgrading and progressing more than others, I must say, I'm discovering. San Martin, Steel Dive, Hamdallah, all those, they are in stiff competition with each other. And we get to reap the rewards because they want our money. And we're going to spend it with whoever seems to be working the hardest at improving their products. And they all are. I'm really, really impressed. And it's a great time to be buying these watches. And it's a great time to be reviewing these watches because it's so much fun and there's so much choice. And it's a joy to share that with you guys. So I hope you've enjoyed this full review. And if you've enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.